Child advocacy group Adopt Change has been commissioned by the New South Wales Government to provide recruitment and training to a range of carers. The new programme, My Forever Family, will provide support for foster carers, kinship carers, guardians and adoptive families. I'm joined now by the founder of Adopt Change, Deborra-lee Furness, and the CEO of Adopt Change, Renée Carter. Hello ladies, welcome to you both. Renée, can I start with you? Tell us more about My Forever Family.
Look, it's an exciting program that really is around making sure that we support the vital work that foster carers do in New South Wales, but also bringing on new carers because there is a shortage both in New South Wales and nationally for these children in out-of-home care. So they come into out-of-home care due to difficult home situations, abuse, neglect, and they need a stable place to stay, either before they can return back home once things have been sorted out, or if they're unable to, then they need a new permanent placement. So
how big a shortage of carers is there?
Look, we need...
But how big's a piece of string?
Yeah, at least hundreds more to come in and to help children. So, and that may be foster carers that are able to provide a few months for emergency care or a few nights, a regular weekend a month for respite care, through to guardians and adoptive parents for children that need a permanent placement.
Have you had a good response so far?
Yes, we've done two shows this morning already. The calls are coming through, so yeah, people are stepping up because they can see the need for these kids.
So, as the founder of Adopt Change, Deborra-lee, you were, firstly, that was about adopting children permanently. This is a slight shift, isn't it, to look for foster
No, it's always
carers?
been, not really, no. We tried to adopt in Australia. It was too hard, and that's when I began the journey. I thought there's all these families out there that want to parent these kids, and it couldn't happen because of bureaucracy. And I think that this is decades of neglect of the system and lack of support for the families that had gone through the adoption, inclusive of the relinquishing mothers back in the 40s, 50s and 60s, who were forced by state and church to relinquish their child, were given no ongoing support. Therefore, there's a lot of anger. Or Asian children that were brought international adoption that weren't given the tools how to navigate, placement in a foreign land with a new family. So because of that, adoption was the bottom of the pile. It was not talked about. There was shame and stigma around it. We've been going for 10 years. It took like 5 years of hard slog just to get it back on the agenda to talk about it. And there was an inquiry done, and there was stated there was an anti-adoption culture in Australia, which people are just blown away when they hear that. But there absolutely was. And a lot of that, I think, was because of the abuse of these people, and they found adoption barbaric because they were not served, and they were the ones trying to shut it down. So here we are 10 years later with a lot of hard slog, and Renée at the helm doing an amazing job, and the New South Wales Government have just given us funding for the next 3 years to create what should have been created years ago, which is a pre and post adoption support.
Yeah.
Train the carers. You're taking on a child that is coming from trauma. Any child separated from birth family is a trauma. So we advocate first for keeping families together, but we all know that is not always the case. There's abuse and neglect and poverty whereby families cannot stay together. We're trying to empower that. But when that is not the situation, don't keep them in foster care. Renée met a man the other day, 70 placements in foster care. That is outrageous. That is abuse and neglect. It shouldn't happen. So we're championing reunification first, but when it can't happen, and adoption's the best option, let's create the ethical gold standard with the support in place, with the families adopting these children, knowing how to handle a child that's coming from a hard place.
How much support was there before this programme for would-be adoptive families?
Look, there are a lot of foster carers that leave the system, so there's breakdown, and that's why partly we see these multiple moves for children. So there really needs to be an understanding this is a critical job, that these are parents that are looking after children with trauma. They need all the support that we can give them. So this is a really comprehensive program that will allow them to access the supports that we're offering around trauma-informed care, self-care, anything that they really need to know in terms of calling the helpline.
And cash as well? Financial support as
well? Where they are provided that through government currently as foster carers. So really we're looking at supporting all the kinds of carers and making sure that they can stay involved, and where permanency is appropriate for children, that is well supported as well.
And what difference does this make to the children the heart of it? What are some of the stories you've
Oh, look,
come
all the
across?
research shows that impermanency is detrimental, so it ends up with homelessness and interactions with the justice system, etc. So
Drug
really,
abuse, low self-esteem basically, because they've never had a carer, someone to think that they're precious, and that's how we all see it through our parents' eyes, that we're precious. Therefore, we have self-esteem. We can go out and be productive within the community. These kids can't because they haven't been given the basic tools.
Deborra-lee Furness and Renée Carter from Adopt Change. Best of luck with the programme. Thanks
Thank
so much
you.
for being with us.
Thank you.